Good afternoon to all of you. My name is Josiah Spokane, and I'm a participant in the forensic debate team at Modesto Junior College. I've won awards in extemporaneous speaking, impromptu speaking, and parliamentary debate. I'll be proudly representing MJC at this year's State National Tournament. You can all applaud me for that if you like. Mikey Gonzalez, our first speaker, has taken awards in both persuasive and informative speaking, and tonight will be presenting his informative speech. An informative speech is simply a speech with cited sources that is designed to introduce the audience to a new idea or concept. This evening, Mikey will be explaining a process which will revolutionize how we receive our medicine. I would ask that you all give a warm round of applause to Mr. Mikey Gonzalez.
In 2012, the United Nations Children's Fund estimates that every 20 seconds, a child dies from a curable infectious disease. And according to statistics from the World Health Organization, last accessed February 15, 2014, shows that over 13 million people die from infectious disease each year. 95% of these people live in resource-limited areas. And while many of these diseases could easily be prevented through widespread distribution of currently available vaccines, the issue of how best to formulate, distribute, and administer these vaccines across the world remains a significant unsolved problem. Data from the Global Health Policy Center, last accessed February 15, 2014, estimates that administering vaccines in developing areas is limited by several factors. First off would be the lack of trained personnel. Second is the needle stick injuries resulting from cross-contamination. And finally, you have breakdowns in refrigeration, also known as the cold chain. Clearly, there's a pressing need for a new vaccine delivery system that is simple, inexpensive, and easy to distribute. And the only way to meet these challenges worldwide is to engineer a better and more efficient way of administering vaccines. And thanks to a recent breakthrough in biotechnology, we now have the nanopatch. We will first begin by exploring this invention, which actually has the potential to eliminate vaccines of the current method of needle and syringes. Second, we will look at how it works, and finally, we will look at the implications it could have worldwide. So in order to understand the nanopatch, we must first understand what it is. Mark Kendall, a biomedical engineer at the University of Queensland, Australia, on January 14, 2014, gave a presentation on TED Talks about his needle-free method of administering vaccines. He designed the nanopatch to deliver vaccines painlessly to the skin. The nanopatch is a 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter square of silicone, which is slightly smaller than a dime, and is designed to deliver vaccines to the key immune cells just a hair width below the skin surface. The central element of this technology are the microprojections, which are microscopic silicone points designed to deliver vaccines to key immune cells. Since no blood is required, it greatly reduces the risk of infection, human error, and contamination from occurring. Another key attribute of the nanopatch is that the vaccine is dry and does not require refrigeration. And as a result, it means that costly cold chain would no longer need to be relied upon to prevent temperature damage. According to Mark Kendall, he says the nanopatch will be developed with high volume, low cost manufacturing in mind, and will be using well-established techniques for cost efficiency. Now that we better understand what the nanopatch is, we can compare it to the traditional methods in terms of effectiveness and global usage. In Mark Kendall's research journal, Controlled Release, last updated February 15, 2014, shows that the nanopatch can greatly enhance the immune response given by a vaccine, which in turn increases its effectiveness. Because vaccines work by stimulating the anti-productions of the antibodies, what it actually allows happening is vaccines can be injected into muscle tissue by needle syringe for over 170 years. And since modern technology has provided us with a greater understanding of the immune system since then, this process shows that it's completely outdated because it requires a relatively large dose of vaccine per shot to target the necessary immune cells. Alternatively, the nanopatch is applied using an applicator device, which actively propels the microprojections into the outer layers of the skin, where immune cells are most numerous. This specific targeting of where immune cells are most numerous makes it far more abundant in reaching the threshold line of success. And it also shown that the body has responded with a higher level of immunity. Their preclinical experiments have shown the ability of the nanopatch to greatly reduce the amount of vaccine required for effective immunization. Second, the main shortcoming of today's vaccinations is the thermal requirements necessary to maintain the cold chain. It requires the keeping of vaccines to be refrigerated all the way until the time of production until when it's administered to the patient. If it's either too warm or too cold, the vaccine will break down. This process can render conventional vaccines ineffective or potentially harmful. According to statistics from the World Health Organization, last updated February 15, 2014, reports that over 50% of vaccines that go to Africa are considered to be defective or not working properly because of a failure in the cold chain. The nanopatch's temperature stability also introduces the option of delivering vaccines to parts of the world where their cold chain infrastructure is unreliable or even non-existent, which can mean the difference between life and death. The nanopatch is also expected to improve vaccine productivity. Since it's a highly adaptable platform technology, it may be suitable for delivering a vast majority of vaccines. According to the Center of Disease Control, last updated February 15, 2014, reports that HIV, malaria, and tuberculosis are responsible for over 7 million deaths per year. And thanks to the potential of the nanopatch to enhance the immune response generated by a vaccine, it makes it far more likely to reach the threshold line of success compared to traditional methods. This will not only allow vaccines to go much further, but also save many more lives. After refining and improving the nanopatch further, Kendall aims to launch clinical trials in Papua New Guinea to vaccinate women against the human papillomavirus, which can lead to cervical cancer and is the leading cause of death in young women in developing areas of the country. Since the nanopatch is a new medical breakthrough, there are several implications that come along with it, including time, costs, and saving literally millions of lives. While the nanopatch technology is highly adaptable, there are some unavoidable limitations as well. The main drawback of the nanopatch is that even if trials are successful, Kendall states in his presentation that it is likely to take another 7 to 10 years before it's introduced on the market. Another problem with the nanopatch is that even though production could drop from 1/100th of the cost, it is not likely that the drug companies will sell this for 1/100th of the price. Despite this, there are still many more beneficial applications specific to this technology. As with any new medical development, cost plays an important role in its success or failure. The potential savings from using less vaccine to achieve an effective immunization, combined with the significant reduction of problems associated with needles and the elimination of the cold chain, makes the nanopatch exponentially cheaper. The United Nations Children's Fund, last updated February 15, 2014, reports that if refrigeration were not required, the savings from maintaining the cold chain alone could be sufficient enough to vaccinate a further 10 million more children. And according to a shotlife.org, last updated February 22, 2014, reports that 1.5 million children die from infections every year. And these infections can easily be prevented by vaccines. The nanopatch has the potential to drop this number all the way down to 0. And it's extremely plausible to think that in 10 years' time, organizations that provide vaccines to the rest of the world will be able to also be able to provide all necessary vaccines to developing nations for the same amount of money that they currently spend on vaccination programs that have let 1.5 million children slip through the cracks each year. Today, we explored the unique and durable design of the nanopatch. Second, we looked at how it works. And finally, we looked at the implications it could have worldwide. If one considers all benefits of the nanopatch, it is quite clear that Mark Kendall's design is a much-needed advancement of modern methods, and it represents an unprecedented opportunity of success by making the vaccination process safer, cost-effective, and notably more efficient. It is also expected to be an excellent alternative to the needle syringe. But since technology is constantly required to overcome challenges in distributing vaccines to those that need them, especially those in developing areas, we can expect the nanopatch to be an important discovery worldwide that can save millions of lives.